stupid person. Hi, everyone.
Wow.
You can tell Shay hasn't done this in a minute. Welcome. How is everybody doing out there? This is Red Valkyrie Presents. I am, of course, Shay the Red with my bitch of a co-host over there. Sai, how you doing?
You are so rusty. Holy shit. I'm doing awesome, Shay. How are you doing?
I fucking told you I was gonna be. Why didn't you believe me?
All right, I'm just going to run the show. I'm doing great, Shay. How are you?
I'm still recovering from being, like, deathly ill, but, you know, hey. We're
and German.
Hanging in there. Okay, well, that was like a month ago.
Yeah,
that was a month ago. That was a month ago. I'm mostly back.
That was very smooth.
I know. I apologize in advance, everybody. This is going to be rough because
look, we're back to the shit show days. We're back to this.
Oh my god! Yes, I love it. We're going to our roots, man. And who better to go to our roots with than Mr. RJ William? How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm just happy to be here.
I swear to God, if Sai was still physically in my house, I would have punched them 10 times by now. Oh, okay. All right. We're going to, look, we're channeling. We're getting back into it. I'm remembering how to do this shit, kind of. So before we get into the actual reason that we are here, I do believe that we have a cosplay reveal. If that's okay with you, Sai.
I don't know. I really don't.
I hate you so much.
Hold on. What? Someone changed our video clips. Okay, here we go.
Metamorphosis completed, sir.
Shay the Red
has now become
awesome.
I gave her a little haircut.
All right.
Little bit more pixie cut, mostly because I could not find the rest of my wigs. Like I said, it's rusty. There's I literally have about 100 or so wigs in this house, and I could not find the rest of mine.
You have more than that because you have most of mine right now.
Oh shit! I'm probably closer to 150. There's a lot of wigs up in this bitch.
Right.
But yeah, can I just say, I've got to say, this is one of the most ridiculous things for me is when I look at a campaign and I'm like, oh, there's a chick, I'm gonna cosplay the chick, and then I see, oh, there's a stretch goal for a cosplay actual cover based on the girl that the character was drawn after, and I'm like, great, I'm so happy I'm gonna be cosplaying that. That's gonna be so wonderful and not at all intimidating. It's so fine. Everything's fine.
No, you get cosplay sloppy seconds.
Yeah, I'm claiming it, and then she's obviously gonna do a better job because it's modeled after her. But
she's got that advantage going for her, you know.
Yeah,
You know, the funny part is, Shay's done this before, where there's been a cosplay cover for the comic, and she's done the cosplay better based on the actual comic.
This is not that. I've seen her. I've seen the picture of her. I have a feeling she wins this one. I have a feeling she wins this one.
So the one I'm talking about is the chick laying on the bar.
We don't got to talk about that one because we no longer have that creator on our channel.
I don't even remember who it was. So
I do, and we do not have him on our channel anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's go. You know what? Let's stop being awkward. Let's stop making this fucking weird for RJ.
I like how you brought up the awkward part about that. Like, it was fine with what I said, but the second
I'm looking at RJ's static ass smile going, dear God, what have I done? It hasn't even been 24 fucking hours. This is where I am.
I'm just happy to be here, you guys. I mean...
I like how that's the third time he's had to say that in 5 minutes.
I know. It's fine. Okay, we're here for Call Sign Orion.
Yeah.
RJ, tell us what this is about. What exactly is this?
All right, so I'm a longtime sci-fi fan, and this is basically an amalgamation of some of the sci-fis that I love. I took a little bit of Starship Troopers, combined it with Brave New World, which is a little sci-fi, more of a dystopian, and then threw in some Battlestar Galactica because I love spaceships and starfighters and all that.
Right.
And yeah, it was. I originally wrote. It's kind of in the bio about the campaign, but I originally wrote a script for the story, like a different character. Well, same characters, but different kind of story, different timeline, and I guess the characters' lives. But Lisa Foyles read it, and because she's also a screenwriter, and we're longtime friends, and she kind of said it lends itself to animation. So I found people who could draw. I eventually ended up talking to Luke Stone. Learned I live near Mike Barron, and he helped me edit the script.
Nice.
And here we are launching the book together. Lisa is part of it now. The character Lena Riley is after her, which is, if you know her resume, very appropriate. She does a lot of reporting. Lena Riley is basically a news reporter. She's like the April O'Neil to this universe. And yeah, I like the blonde version of Lena Riley. Unique. Why wouldn't she change her hairstyle every now and then?
Look, I went from red to brown, so
I gotta say that I prefer her outfit to April O'Neil's jumpsuit. So
yeah,
good choice.
Yeah, Lisa likes it too. She's very excited to do the cosplay for this character.
Dude, and that's the funny thing is I looked at her outfit and I was like, look, you get rid of the gloves and that's me going to the club.
Nice.
Like without the gloves, done. Maybe give, a leg bag or like a...
You should try the gloves sometime.
Maybe.
So I'm going to derail us for about 10 seconds and I apologize in advance.
Lena Riley at the club.
That was Shay at the club last week.
This is what happens when I go clubbing with Sai. Is Sai takes sneaky ass videos.
This is fun though. It's you're actually still the first person I've seen cosplay any of my characters, so that's pretty cool.
I love that I get to be most people's first, even if it's sometimes really shit.
We're not saying that. That is not how we say that.
That is how we say that because it makes you uncomfortable, and I think it's funny. All right, so we've got a couple of pages. Actually, one of the first things I wanted to talk about. So you have this patch, right?
Yes. Yeah, the alpha
so,
patch.
For your alpha patch, an actual physical patch, yes?
Yes.
Patches?
Okay. Patches. We're going back to patches. We are
patches.
getting back to our fucking roots, man. We are going back to patches. We are going, like, everything. Is this the final concept design of how it's going to look, or have you even looked into what it's going to take to do a patch like that?
Oh yeah. I mean, so that is the design. I've looked at different patch makers. But yeah, from what I've come up with, like that is like a design.
So you're gonna have like the sublimation background print and everything, or is it all just gonna be like a flat print? Are you gonna have any embroidered sections? Like,
I haven't really figured out all those details yet.
See, this is the problem. You came onto a patch show, and I'm all about the patches.
I didn't know you were so about the patches. I wasn't ready to answer that question.
Okay. See, RJ missed these days.
Oh wow. Okay, that is
yeah.
okay.
Those are OG Red Valkyrie roots with.
So you got the similar
about...
colors in the background too, and circular patch. So you know something about it. Did you actually make those, or have
we had them
we went through a company, and they were the bomb when we went through them. I don't know. I haven't ordered from them in a while, nor has anybody told me if they've ordered through them in a while if they're still awesome. But they were badass when we did it.
I'm going to see if this website is still there.
It should be. I'm pretty sure it is. But
Peter Orchard, thank you, by the way. I appreciate that validation.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to get into your insanity in a minute. We're going to, don't worry, that's coming.
So this is only a 48-hour insanity, and we're almost 24 hours in. So just for everyone out there, you know.
Okay, so you know what, we're just going to do it now. So $5 for how many pages?
42. I mean, Subway doesn't even do this deal anymore, you guys.
Yeah, that's insanity. Okay.
I can confirm 42 is more than a foot long.
42's hefty.
So you're doing $5 plus shipping for the first 48 hours of the campaign.
Correct.
Then what is happening? What does the price go to?
I'm just gonna jump it up to like 10 and 15 because that's like I think more realistic prices.
Yeah, it really. I'm just gonna let you know when we first saw this before I realized this was the first 48 hours, and so I was like, 42 pages for $5. I was like, I am going to light his ass up. What the hell are you talking about? And then Sai goes, oh, it's just the first 2 days. I'm like, I still don't know. That is so. Everyone who's watching, if you haven't already backed, and times are tough, get in on this now and make RJ regret that decision.
Yeah, do it. I would love to live to regret this. I'm also giving away more free stuff. You get a sticker. I'm not replacing these. So like while these last, you get a free sticker and also the free pop sockets. I was giving these out. So I don't know. Some people are really crazy about pop sockets. I know I am. So it's functional art. It collapses, goes on the back of your phone. I could actually show you because last night I was on my camera as like a backup. So I got one on mine. It's like a handle. It's a stand on a flat surface.
Sockets?
Of course I remember pop sockets. I
You
loved
get
them. I was addicted.
You get a mount on your dashboard. It slides right in. It's like a dashboard mount too. So
Holds
functional
more
art.
securely than most of the magnet ones too. Like your phone's not going to go flying unless the entire holder goes flying.
Yep.
Which unfortunately is still a possibility because adhesive.
It's 4 more backers, right? You said the first 10.
No. So I got more than 10 of these left. So I was giving away these pop sockets to everyone who got on my Substack, just as a little incentive because the Substack was a mailing list. Mm-hmm. And then I got these like about 100 of these to give away. So I'd say I might have 15-ish pop sockets left, plus about 100 stickers. So
gotcha.
Even more incentive besides my insane first 48-hour prices.
So really quickly, you might want to indicate on your Fund My Comic page, you might want to add the words physical backers so that you're not having to send stickers and pop sockets to people who pay $2 for a PDF. If it's not a physical thing, I don't think they're required to give you their shipping address either. So
that's true. Yeah, that's for physical backers. For a PDF, you'll be getting an email with the PDF. So.
You get a picture of a pop socket.
A picture of a pop socket.
Oh my gosh!
I'm not shipping
Take a
stuff for
picture
the
on the
PDF.
back of your phone. Be like, here's your pop socket.
Right.
Digital PDF. You get digital pop socket.
It's just like a cheap like selfie, like me in front of a mirror with my pop socket.
Yes, do it. Oh my God, do it. That would be hilarious. Okay, so cosplay cover stretch goal. We talked about this. First off, can I just say, screw Lisa? She's beautiful. It's unfair.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Not fair. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm actually for one of the first times. So as a cosplayer, I can get real nitpicky when it comes to people that are doing cosplay and getting paid for it and doing it in a professional setting like this, where it's like, hey, I'm going to be on a cover, I'm going to be in a poster or whatever. This is one of the first times that I'm actually kind of excited to see her do the character, because I think that it'll just be awesome. Plus, she's really pretty. So like,
yeah,
I'm more than happy to see her dress up in a skimpy ass skirt.
And that character fits her personality, and she basically chose that outfit for that character too. So like a lot of the Lena Riley character is not only based on her, like she basically helped design it. So
that's awesome.
She's gonna enjoy this, and I think we're all looking forward to it.
I'm actually curious if she was like, there's this one outfit that I have in the back of my wardrobe that I don't get to wear enough that I'd really like to wear. So this is what she should wear. She should wear an outfit that looks kind of like this because I have this exact thing already, and then I have an excuse, because that's what I would do. Well,
the way she actually chose it was she picked the character, because she used to do video game journalism too, and she picked the character Ulala from like, I don't know, it's like an early 2000s era like Dreamcast game or something, who's like a news reporter. and basically wore a very similar outfit. So that's how that came to be.
Well, now I'm curious.
I think, what's it called? Yeah.
La la.
It's like, it's not the typical spell. It's like ULALA, ooh la la.
Aha.
Space Channel
Oh.
5.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were meaning, but I was like, I don't remember what her name was. Yeah, no, I remember this girl.
So that's who Lisa chose for like her basic outfit design.
Okay, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah, I think that'd be really fun. I like that she's at least kind of updated it a bit because, Space Channel 5 is super hard into the sci-fi retro pop kind of look, but I think she'd kill it. So it'd be great to see you get to this, and so we can get that cover just because it would be super fun to do.
Oh yeah.
All right, so some of the pages. So you told us a little bit about the story. Like, where did your inspiration for this kind of? You were talking about just your love of sci-fi. Is there anything that really kind of specifically drove your storytelling?
Yeah, since you said that this has been rattling around in your head for 10 years, I think I read.
Yeah. So I first started writing the story based on, like, I wanted it to be like the main character, like the main characters, the three main characters in the story. Well, not this story specifically, because one of them is like barely in it, but like the overarching story of like where it all goes. I had their story kind of rattling around in my head for a while, and I wanted to do some kind of like military and or first responder thing, and then I also wanted to write a space opera. Then I put them in the space opera, and it became basically like dystopian military sci-fi in the end. And then I ended up doing all this world building, and little by little over a course of 10 or so years, basically grew into this.
That is crazy. I love it when I hear about people who've had stories in their head for 10 years, 12 years, whatever. Like, oh, since I was 9, I wanted to tell this story, and I finally got old enough where I was like, no, I can do it now. Like, I love seeing what you end up coming up with, because that's when you really get kind of the passion behind it. And the Hugin is apparently just appalled that people can work on something for so long, but but I like seeing the passion and everything behind it, and it's usually a lot more thought out than people that just, I had an idea, I wrote it down, and here we go, kind of thing. So I'm excited to see where you're taking this. I think that to be honest, the art style isn't exactly my cup of tea necessarily.
It's my cup of tea.
I know it is yours. Cy loves sci-fi. Go figure.
Cy loves sci-fi. I've been a sci-fi fan since I was 4, and that was a couple years ago. Specifically, the original space opera, original series Trek. So, and I love Starship Troopers. So, yeah, this is like my alley right here.
Yeah. I got into sci-fi first, like, when I was a kid, I would watch, so we only had A New Hope on, like, a recorded VHS.
Yeah.
My dad just recorded off TV.
Yep.
And what I would do when I was pretty young is I would watch the whole movie, then I would rewind it and just watch the Death Star trench run a second time. Like, sit in the TV and just, like, be in the cockpit, and I was just obsessed with it. So I even have, I thought Luke did a great job with the ship, so I got 3D models printed. So I had,
nice.
The F-26 Aerostar with my little spaceship there.
Very cool.
I just kind of did that for fun.
Yeah.
Get them mass-produced, sell them on the campaign.
Yep.
Also, my grandfather was a bombardier in World War II, and I was just always into, like, fighter ships and, fighter pilots, and just thought it was cool. So then that's just kind of ended up being a big part of the direction for the story.
Yeah.
And, that's just part of it. I went more of like a Battlestar Galactica angle because I thought it should feel like Top Gun in space more than I guess Star Wars is more based on like the World War II era of playing. So I went with more of like the ship itself is kind of like a combination of like the Viper from Battlestar Galactica and the R-Wing from Star Fox, and I kind of went for more of that feel. And then
Okay, I have to ask, which Galactica?
oh,
Richard Hatch era?
Well, they're both good, but you know, I personally like the newer one. But I do like in the old one they actually use like jets, and you could see jets coming out of the Viper. You know, you see like the fire coming out.
Yeah,
of
the thing that looked like a fire extinguisher exhaust.
Yeah,
coming out
it's
the
not
back when
the
they hit
greatest
turbo.
effects, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like that aspect of it. But the newer one went for more of like a realistic angle, like less
Yes, it
sound in space, you know, and all that, which is cool. But I like the more visceral feel of the older one, at least when they're flying around. But yeah, then for like the overarching story, I went more of a Starship Troopers meets Brave New World sort of angle with it.
So tell us about your big bad.
My big net.
Your
Big
big
bad.
bad.
Oh, the big bad. So I'm like, are we fishing? The big bad is so basically in this book there's a hostage situation. The guy in the bottom right, he's Viper, is what he's known as. He's the second in command of a terrorist cell known as the NIR, and they've captured some hostages in deep space, and they're demanding the release of their leader, who's in a supermax prison, and he's
Nice.
basically a brilliant strategist who they're afraid to let out. So instead of releasing him, they send in their equivalent of the Navy SEALs, called the Alphas, and because the story takes place 1,000 years in the future, everyone flies in spaceships, so why wouldn't your Navy SEALs fly in spaceships? So they're a combination of fighter pilots and, you know, what we would recognize as Navy SEALs, and they're awesome at fighting in space, and they
Wait,
go
so
into...
they're not being flown in spaceships?
No, they
Air
fly in their
Force.
own starfires like you see on the patch. And I
I
see what you're saying, the Navy
Young
SEALs.
lady in the Air Force, do you want to compare how many planes the Navy has versus how many planes the Air Force has?
No, because
I didn't think so.
Tell them where to go, so it's fine.
Yeah, the intel. Yeah, the Navy doesn't have that big, you know, naval intelligence building right down the way from you.
No.
Okay.
You got a
Rely on
little
us,
Air
it's
Force
fine.
Navy rivalry here.
A little bit.
Well,
yeah.
I was in the Navy for about 8 seconds. Shay is active duty Air Force.
327
Hold on.
days from retirement. Woo!
Alright.
She's 19 years in.
Wow.
So ready. I'm so ready. Anyway, so one of the things that I think is interesting with this is normally when you see people doing sci-fi, like from an art standpoint, I like the way that, you know, you and Luke worked with the suit design, the ship design. The colors, to me, are kind of a surprising choice because instead of things being super rich or saturated, everything's a lot softer and it's a lot more kind of pastel overall, not just, you know, the background and the galaxy, but like basically everything. Like everything kind of has a blue hue or this kind of peach hue. Everything's really just kind of softer than I think I would have expected.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of that is because of the action we chose for that page. So like the suits, I think have like more of a neon, but yeah, like you said, there's that hue of the sort of pastel colors. So a lot of that is because the space battle is taking place in a nebula. So Patrick's basically communicating the light's diffusing through the gases of the nebula, and that's where you get a lot of that pastel color.
Well, and this is a really, really, really small selection because this is 3 pages of 42.
Right.
So, as far as like if the rest of the book is different than this color-wise, I might suggest adding in a few more pages of some of the other areas just to kind of show the entirety of like what it is that you're representing. Because if I was just looking at these 3 pages, I would assume that the entirety of this book is going to be a very like blue and pink kind of pastel hue heavy book. And it makes sense if it's just that they're in like this nebulous area, but if it's like this through the whole book, okay, 3 pages is fine. If it's changing, you want to show kind of that variety to help entice more people in, because people like me, this isn't exactly my cup of tea. But there might be other scenes that hit more in other aspects that I'd be like, oh, actually that looks really cool, and that might be something more what I'm into. Just like a suggestion for you.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. There is one page, and I might edit it. I'll probably just right after this go edit it in the campaign, because I'm a little technologically challenged, as I has noticed now. But I had a hard time uploading it. So we've completed 4 pages. The 4th page we have completed is not up there right now. I'm not sure if it's on the Substack either. And if I were on my own computer right now without the camera issue, I'd be able to present it. So I'm in kind of a bind for showing it to you right now. But it is like interior ship, so the lighting is different and the colors look different because they're inside the ship and you don't have the light diffusing through the nebula. So it would actually be a more accurate representation of what most of the lighting in the book is like.
That would, I would recommend trying to get some of that up there. So 42 pages, you've got 4 complete pages. What's
the timeline on this?
That's exactly what I was going to ask. What's the timeline for delivery?
I don't have an exact timeline because a lot of it depends on how fast Luke could draw 42 pages.
Okay.
I wish I were the artist and I could say, oh, I got this timeline.
Is it Luke Stone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, ideally you would normally want to be able to give your backers something. I think the biggest thing is making sure that you're keeping your campaign page updated, because this is another thing that Cy and I had talked about backstage. Is it's great that you have a Substack, but what you have on your campaign page, and this is coming from marketing degree and everything, what you have on your campaign page you need to treat as if this is the only place that people are going to see this project. And so all of those important details that you have, any of the cool updates or
even the story
anything that
beats,
you can give them for timelines.
Shush, because the story section up top is just a little bit thin. As a writer myself, you really want to sell people on the story and get them hooked, because that's literally going to be the fish hook in their mouth or in their wallet. So yeah, that's all I'd say is just buff that out. Yeah,
I would give them a little bit more.
I want to buy this. I just want to know. I want to, with a 42-page book, unless so much of it is just flat-out action, I'd like to think that there's going to be enough story beats that you could just expand on a little bit of the background. And I've got to think that you have all kinds of background in there, like the stuff that you told us about the alphas and the big bad being in prison and the hostage situation and stuff like that. None of those things are really super spoilers when it comes to your story. None of those are going to ruin the payoff or anything like that. So I would absolutely put that in there, because I mean that makes me want to buy your book more. What you've just told us in this interview. So
yeah, that's good advice. I'll have to put that in there.
Yeah, it's and it's always, when it's your first campaign that you're kind of coming out with, and you've been thinking about it for so long, it's sometimes hard to extrapolate what is information that you have guilty knowledge of that you don't want to spoil for other people, what information is relevant, what's too much, what's not enough. And so just sometimes getting those outside perspectives. And
what have you put in your Substack that you think people are going to know, but now that you have the perspective of they're just seeing what's on this page, what can you pull and kind of translate that? Because, and we're not trying to bust your balls. We've done almost 400 shows with campaigns at this point. So we kind of have the experience of knowing what we would want to see more of on people's campaign pages after. I mean, Shay's backed literally hundreds of campaigns, so
so many. And I've backed a lot of campaigns that that I've gotten badly burned on because I saw a campaign page maybe like yours that's kind of, it's a little bit sparse, but I'm like, you know what? I like the vibes, things are good, and then I back it, and then I get it, and I'm like, oh, the whole book was basically like the campaign page and was very, very sparse, and I don't believe that that's what you have. So you want to make sure that you aren't letting that be a thought that people can have about you or your campaign. You want to make sure that people understand what you're giving, that you've thought it through, that you're working with a good team, you guys are motivated, and there's not going to be, I mean, there's only so much you can do with life, right? There's always going to be something that comes up that you cannot account for, but there are a lot of people in this gig, in this scene, that make a lot of piss poor excuses for not delivering things, and it has created a lot of gun shy backers as a result. So you want to make sure that you don't give anyone the excuse to say that you are going to be one of those creators that they're going to be worried about. You want to show them that you're dedicated, you're here, you've got all this, you've thought it out, this is going to be a badass story, you've got a badass team on it, and this is what you're showing for it. And so you just wow them out the gate, and they have absolutely no reservation about supporting you.
Right. No, that's good advice. I'll definitely beef that up after this. I'm going to try and get that 4th page loaded up there because, like you're saying about the lighting, that'll change. That could change people's idea of what the book is like.
Well, absolutely, because I mean, just to, if we do a quick scroll, right? Just look at the colors that you see on your screen from a quick scroll with, here's a cover, here's a patch, here's another cover, here's some pages. It's all the same color scheme for all of that. And while it's not a bad color scheme, it is a very niche color scheme. So if you have other things that are present, you want to make sure that you are showing some of those when you can. And if you've only got 1 page or 2 pages, and they don't have to be sequential, keep that in mind. You don't have to have your artist work sequentially. If your artist is really like dying to do a splash page that you guys have planned out, let them do the splash page, because that's going to help you sell this. That's going to be an eye-catching moment that you can turn around and use to promote heavy. And if it's showing more diversity, that can be a bigger pull. So don't worry about here having a couple of sequentials so people can kind of see how the story is going to progress. Fantastic. Now you're working on, let me do showcase pieces that are really going to highlight these characters, even if they're, you know, one thing I love is seeing character turnarounds and stuff like that, where people have the just design sheets of, here are your characters, here's why you care about them, this is what they are, this is what they look like, and giving me that moment where there's nothing else going on. There's no background, there's just, here's some of the concept sketches of the characters, here's their background story. It helps me buy into your story more, because now I actually give a shit about your characters. Right now, you got 3 cool guys right here, and this cool dude with the awesome like eye scar thing, and I'm like, okay, like,
or like character bios.
They're cool, but
character bios, so we know who we're looking at in the pages that you've done.
Exactly.
Like their military backgrounds or things like that, especially if it's stuff that's in your head that might not necessarily make it to the page.
Oh yeah.
Because that's just free flavor. You've already done the heavy lifting in your brain to develop these backstories for these characters. And it's not like it's completely spoilery in that if you wanted to go back in like issue 2, issue 3 and do like something that touches on the backstories, you'd just be flushing that out more.
Right.
So,
right. Well, and you have to walk that fine line between telling us way too much about the characters and telling us absolutely nothing. Because if you tell me nothing, then I don't care about them. They're just
Johnny agrees in his way.
Make Tinder profiles. Love it, Johnny. I can't wait to see yours for all of your characters.
Johnny actually drew Lena Riley on the trading card there.
Of course he did.
Yeah, Johnny's great.
Yeah.
How am I not even remotely surprised that
Johnny
the hot
also
chick...
drew Orion here. The pop
shit.
socket version and
Look
the
at
sticker
that.
version that you're gonna get. So
Look at that.
that's Johnny.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny, whatever, just be awesome.
Yeah.
We already knew that though. Johnny's a fantastic.
So Johnny's
artist.
gonna create the pictures for the Tinder profiles for the
Yeah.
characters.
That's what I just heard. I want all of them to have pouty lips. Johnny, give everyone pouty lips, especially this guy with
Okay.
the red eyes.
No, so if it's the guys, it's not going to be Tinder. It's going to be Grinder. And
Oh God.
And,
Oh, don't do Grinder. Don't
yeah,
do
you,
Grindr
you
profiles.
you need one where they're like arching their back and kind of sticking their butt out, but looking back over their shoulder with the pouty lips and kind of the ingenue pose.
I hate everything that you just said. I hate every single aspect. Don't do what Sai just said. That is terrible. Please don't
Hey.
do that for your character.
Hey,
Babe,
I know
not
it
everyone
sells.
can have an OnlyFans.
you're just jealous.
I'm very much not, I promise.
You're jealous of my OnlyFans, Miss Government Employee.
All right, so we've kind of gotten into it with some of our questions that we had. I want to get into what your tiers are. So I'm going to send it back over to you to kind of break down exactly what everyone's getting at each tier.
Sure. All right. So so these deals only last for the first 48 hours. So we're almost halfway there. So get on it. But the $2 tier is just a PDF. Yeah, and I'll clarify that on the page. Like if you're not getting something shipped to you, I'm not shipping the freebies, but I might ship a picture of myself, like with a phone. There's your pop socket.
I love it. Honestly, and that'll be as simple as just right here, putting first 10 physical backers, first 100 physical backers.
Yep.
And now you've covered your bases for that.
Yep.
True. Yeah. I'll definitely change that. And
Yeah, I'm the rules lawyer of this couple, so
There
I
you
spot
go.
those things and I'm like, oh, that's going to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, that's something I wouldn't even thought about, honestly, was
This is
Well,
why we have Sai.
We've done campaign management for people, so yeah, we've heard it all.
And
What do you
we've
mean I'm not
watched
getting a
people-
sticker?
We've watched people have to send physical items like stickers and prints and things
Bitch, you
like
didn't
that
pay for
to
shipping on that
people.
PDF. We're not sending a lunchbox
Yeah.
to Mozambique.
And
Get over it.
I've watched creators have to do it because they screwed themselves and they were like, well, this is a learning curve, so I guess this is what I'm doing now. So we want to prevent that for you.
Yeah,
You're
thank
early
you.
enough
Appreciate
in, we
that.
can catch it.
Yeah, appreciate that. So yeah, the $2 tier is just for digital only. Get a digital book.
Nice.
$5, at least for the first 48 hours, is a physical print book. You choose your cover, A or B. Cover A is by Luke Stone. Cover B is by Doc Blaylock and Anthony Romano.
I'm assuming that those are in order. A is the one with the guy with the sword, and B is the chick
That's
in the
correct.
dude standing. Okay.
That is correct. So yeah, cover A, cover B, print, just your basic pages there, and that's what you get. But then because it's physical, while supplies last, I will also be sending out the free sticker plus the free pop socket.
Nice.
And so I guess that takes us to the next tier, the Moss Gloss. So for Moss Gloss, it's a bit more expensive, but you get a higher quality paper. It is an extra glossy book, and I think with these colors, it's really going to pop off the page. In my opinion, that's the better deal because it's really just going to jump out at you more. Again, you got the choice, cover A, cover B, and because it's a physical tier, you get free stuff while supplies last, pop socket sticker.
Nice. So is this gloss pages throughout the whole
Throughout.
book? Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I would absolutely recommend that if at any point you get samples from a printer, specifically maybe a sample of what your artwork is going to look with the gloss, absolutely add that to your campaign updates when you get it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you said that because that actually does remind me. I got some proofs here. It's glassy. I don't know how much that's showing up on the camera.
Well, we see your ring light.
Yeah, you can see that. So that is quite reflective. This is that fourth page I was telling you about.
Wow.
And you could kind of compare the lighting differences there.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like that page a lot.
I don't know why I think you have
do
to hold
too.
it up to the camera.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm technologically challenged about, and couldn't get that up there, but I'm going to figure it out. So this is when they're inside the ship, and you can tell from the other one, the lighting is quite different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the shadows. I love the depth. It looks really good.
Well,
So-
and I like how it's not so different that it seems like it's an entirely different book or campaign, because that's one of the other issues is when you start getting into different lighting, sometimes it's really disjointed. And so it's still kind of holding in some of that like lighter kind of colors, but they're a lot richer than they are in the 3 pages that you have here where everything is super soft. Those are a lot more saturated. There's a lot more harsh shadow, which I think
You
is
don't have
really-
outside light washing anything out. You have inside light and shadow and depth.
Yeah, you can tell that this is like halogen lighting from above that is super harsh in a hallway or something. I like it.
Yeah, and that's what most of the action in the book's going to look like, because most of it does take place on board that ship.
Nice.
Oh, I have a question. So if your spaceship is for SEALs, does that mean it's also a submarine and it can fly through a star and all this other shit?
No, it's got regular stuff. It's a it's a spaceship, and it just flies super duper fast, and it's destructible.
Goddamn sigh.
Well, SEALs is sea, air, and land, so I'm kind of improvising a little bit with the.
But they're space seals, okay?
Yeah, they're not
the
actual
Space
Navy SEALs.
Force.
They're alphas. They're different.
Right? Ha!
All right, look, can it fly
my
through a swamp?
No, I wouldn't fly it into stuff. It might probably just crash.
All right,
Just say
all
no.
right.
Just say no, Sai. You don't get that. We just move on.
It's not an indestructible ship.
There you go. Ha! Shut up, Sai. Okay.
All right, I'm building it into a hovercraft. That's it.
So done with you.
Oh,
30
well,
dollars
they
here.
do land like Harrier jets. They land and take off like Harrier jets.
Oh, so VTOL? Got it. Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, it could just hover. Yeah. It's got that capability, so that's part of it.
It's gonna hover over the top of Sai and then just.
Oh, one fun
Blast.
thing though they could do. So those suits, these alphas have brain chips. So those suits actually link to part of their brains, so they can control what the suit does without having to hit buttons and stuff. So part of that is the ability to fly their ship remotely, just by thinking about it. So they could basically be their own airstrike if they're pinned down.
Okay, that's pretty fucking cool. See, now, in way down the line, when you're very, very successful with this, I'm assuming this is going to be a series, right? We're not
Yeah.
going to do a one and done. Okay. So down the line, when this is a very, very successful series, you now need to work on a drone model of the ship, just so you can torment your neighbors with it, because that would be fucking hilarious.
That'd be awesome. I'll just do a video where I'm pinned down.
Yeah, exactly. You
Bring in
pin
the
down and be
drone.
like, think, and then all of a sudden it flies in.
Yep.
Exactly what you need.
And it needs to drop like water balloons and shit.
Oh,
That'd be
yeah.
awesome.
Perfect.
So I have ideas for the suits.
Okay.
Lumbar
Lumbar.
heat.
For added comfort.
Foot
would
vibration,
need that.
you know, because soldiers stand a lot. So
I don't think the elite soldiers are big on comfort.
I mean, if
Look,
you can
you
have
say
it.
that now, and then they injure their coccyx, and all of a sudden that
Look,
lumbar
look.
heat really matters.
It's really hard to
She's
pull
in
lots
the-
of G's with an injured coccyx.
She's in the fucking Air Force. She got a goddamn air-conditioned tent in basic.
You need to let that go. That was
I am
like
not- I am never
almost
letting that
2
go.
decades ago now.
I'm never letting it go.
You're just jelly because I can read a contract.
Unlike
All
Rose
right,
and
what do we
Jen,
get
I
for
am never
30 bucks?
actually letting go.
So for 30, and this is another first 48-hour deal, you get the printed book, cover A or B, and the Lena Riley trading card. Only this is just like a proof version. The actual one you will get is signed by the one and only Lisa Foyles from All That and
Oh, wait.
Malcolm in the Middle. So this is her mugshot there.
Nice.
It will be signed by her. She's on All That, Malcolm in the Middle. She's now in a band.
What
she
kind of
performs
band?
a lot. She does a metal band. Von Bolt is her band. She performs at a lot of places in Vegas. She's done like journalism, reporting, like mostly video game journalism. What else has Lisa? Lisa does a lot. She's got a podcast, the Temperamental Podcast. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify. So yeah, check her out. She has
cool.
signed all these trading cards. I want to say there's about 12 or 13 left. So while supplies last on that, this will be an available tier.
Nice.
Awesome. So once you hit the stretch goal for the cosplay cover, that will appear as a reward on the campaign for people to purchase. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Awesome.
So now we're at the alpha tier. So for the alpha tier, you get 2 Moss Gloss books, and one of them will be signed by me. I don't know if you care about me, but you might care about Luke Stone, or maybe this guy you could have heard of, Mike Barron. We'll all 3 be signing one of your books, shipping it to you. You'll get 1 of each cover, and along with that, you get the Lena Riley trading card and the Alpha Magnet, which I think is fun. It's the same design as the patch, but it's a magnet. Who doesn't love that?
Neat.
Nice.
I like magnets. I put them on my computer because I'm a rebel.
Nice. And and with all these tiers, every physical backer while supplies last is still getting the pop socket plus a sticker.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Look at you
Wow.
dogging the Space Force, Shay. You could have been Space Force.
There's a reason I'm not.
So then you got the Admiral tier. So I do have a web comic over on Global Comics called Agent Ronin, and it is a supernatural spy thriller. And right now there's only 1 episode, and it is free, but eventually it will be behind a paywall. And with the Admiral tier, you get everything that's on the Alpha tier, along with basically lifetime behind the paywall view of Agent Ronin. So you'll just get each episode emailed to you as they come out.
Yeah. Let's not say mailed.
Mailed, not physical, it's digital. Yeah, thank you for catching that.
Awesome. Okay.
But you still get the
And
physical
then-
books that are on the Alpha tier. And then separately is the Alpha Magnet. 5 with shipping. You just get the magnet because magnets are fun. Who doesn't like magnet?
Magnets are
I'll hold that
fun.
closer. I feel like you're not getting all the light in there. It's shiny. It's the same as the
Yeah,
patch.
I think that it's probably harder to see because of your ring light, but this with a glossy coat
Exactly. Yeah.
and a magnet.
So that magnet.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm actually impressed talking with you. I was a little apprehensive just looking at the campaign. Talking with you, I am a lot more impressed with it. And I'm interested to see where this goes. I think that first off, that has to. The $5 thing is not helping you with your percentage for the first 48.
that is true. That is true. I was counting on volume.
Yeah. I'm just saying your goal is $6K, so divide that
Yeah.
by $5, and you tell me how many people you gotta motivate. That's a lot.
That is
That's
a lot of people.
A lot.
It's a lot
That's
of people.
$1,200.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hefty lift.
Yeah.
Look,
Now,
look, don't count on the Bancroft bump. It's really just a nudge these days.
It's
So.
it's like it's like the pea in The Princess and the Pea. It's a tiny little tiny thing in a giant stack.
But
of
if they
mattresses.
smushed it flat,
We love Blouse Croft around here. We haven't
Blouse
seen him in
Croft is
forever. But yeah, I definitely think that some of those little tweaks that we talked about will help a lot with the visibility
Yes.
in your campaign, will help get more people enticed, because you have a strong concept. And I mean, obviously, you've got a really great team behind you that's helping make this possible, and you've got a lot of really, really good talent on this. So I'm excited to see where
Oh.
this goes.
I see that it's open for 89 days
Yes.
already on Fun of My Comic. Are you just going to keep it open until you set numbers for printing and shipping?
So it's going to be on Fund My Comic. I want to give them first dibs, but I am going to release it on other crowdfunding platforms as well.
Gotcha.
Okay. And
Yeah.
is it all going to be cumulative when it comes to stretch goals and everything? So across all the platforms?
Yeah, all platforms.
Awesome.
So you're just going to build that momentum. Good.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the plan. For obvious reasons, I like FMC, I like Luke, and I want to give him the first dibs.
Yeah. Plus,
absolutely.
the fees for transactions and platform fees and shit like that are a lot better than the others. So.
Right.
Yes,
right.
they are. The other thing that I would recommend as you start doing some of the other platforms, make sure that you're keeping all of them updated across the platforms, not just with the same information, but since you are combining them all together for stretch goals, I would make sure that you're stating that overtly and making it really obvious where you are in your stretch goal journey across all the different platforms that you go on to, because that's one of the most frustrating things as a backer is to go onto something and not know, like, okay, well, here we've only got 200, but there we've got like 15, and over here there's another 6, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to have to add this up to see like where we are for stretch goals. That's a lot for it's a big lift for your customers. So you want to, like we were talking about, you want to entice them, make it easy for them to know how close they are to certain stretch goals, and to create that kind of vibe and that buzz going around it. It'll definitely help a lot more.
Yeah. No, I appreciate all the tips. 'Cause
Yeah, be active on socials, keep your campaigns updated, and just keep hustling on YouTube, whether it's your own channel or just get on as many channels as you possibly can, because that's gonna definitely help you, because each channel has their own little pocket of indie comics. So
Well, and everybody does it differently. So everybody watches channels for different things. A lot of people come to us because we do this.
assholes.
We pick apart one campaign and we kind of
And we're assholes.
answer the questions that other people don't think to ask. But people go to Bancroft because and we're assholes. They love us being assholes. Sly's an asshole. I'm delightful.
sure.
I'm just happy to be here.
And
Full circle.
That's the perfect way to end this. Shay, did you
Oh
have
my God.
anything else?
I didn't. I think it's great. I think everyone should go and check this out for sure. And, just keep going. Just keep going with the delivery. Damn it, Eric. How dare you?
I have to try. I have to try more.
Wow.
Maybe it's a compliment of your tushy, though Eric has never seen your tushy.
I don't know. I've stood up a lot. Thank you so much, RJ, for coming and hanging out with us and putting up with us. Really,
Thank you for having
It was
me.
fun.
And the amateurness, oh my God, amateurness that is Shay after 2 months of not streaming.
Yeah.
I'm the
Sai?
amateur. You guys are pros. I feel like I'm in the big leagues.
You're very sweet to say that. We appreciate
You're in the
you.
medium leagues. We
Medium
appreciate
leagues. I made it.
right in the average. It's
That's,
fantastic.
when Shay comes up with some good idea, I'm like, and that's why you make the medium bucks.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I don't make great money. That's
So
fine.
we accept our mediumness.
Thank
Love it.
you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks everybody in the chat for basically just tearing us apart. You guys are awesome. We missed you.
Go to the campaign to watch the trailer. So I pre-screen every trailer and use a music matching program, and I know it says it's royalty free, and it is if you do a bunch of things with your credits, and we typically don't. So please go to the campaign link at the top of the chat or in the description. Get your damn half-price first 48-hour shit before it's gone. Do it.
Yes. I'm telling you,
Okay.
make him regret this choice. I think it's awesome and epic, and I want you to feel that.
Look, we
$5.
price printing. He is losing his ass.
He
at that
really
price.
is. He really is.
Yes.
So go capitalize
I really
on
am.
it.
Do it.
Literally at that
destitute.
price, no one is getting paid. Like, even if he goes to China, he might scrape a nickel out of there. So
Stop.
buy it now.
Thank
Do
you
it.
guys so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Red Valkyrie, and we will see you you later tonight, actually, for a giveaway in 2 hours. So make sure that you're coming back here, and we're going to be with the Mouse House. So Bill, Cat, and friends.
Yes, for Nira and Zen. Yes.
Bye.
Bye.